All right, let's get going on this Tuesday evening testimonial edition of our Super Patch. Amazing product that we have here. So if you are new to this, I am going to give you a very quick explanation of what these patches are so that you can have kind of a layman's understanding of them before you start hearing all of these amazing stories. So basically, what these are is a FDA registered medical device. So these patches are 100% safe, efficient for everybody. They are 100% drug and ingredient free. They have no, you're not absorbing anything, you're not putting anything on your body. They are a medical device. And so essentially, what they do is communicate through the neural pathways on your skin. So your skin is the most highest receptor in your body. It has the quickest response time to your brain. So the messages that your skin receives travels to your brain extremely quickly. That's why you can touch a hot stove and immediately before you can even register it, your brain makes your body move away from it, right? So it's essentially that same thing. So our nervous system gets damaged over time. There's 101 things that can affect your nervous system, breaking it down, making it not work or be as fast or efficient. So what these patches do is individually send a specific code to your brain to tell it to do X, Y, or Z. So you're going to hear all about different patches, all of the patches that we have actually tonight, and different testimonials from real customers who are using them. And that way you can understand the benefits that these specific patches have and the fact that they work for not just the people on this call, but anyone pregnant and nursing, children, the elderly. There's no contraindication. So if something piques your interest, I highly encourage you to reach out to whoever invited you. And if you think of someone who maybe sounds similar to one of these amazing people sharing tonight, I hope that you reach out to that person and say, hey, I heard about something amazing that could help you on your issues with pain or sleep or whatever it is that piques your interest. So without further ado, we are going to welcome our first guest tonight, Miss Dana, to talk about our brand new patch that just launched last weekend called Zen.
Thank you so much. So for me, Zen feels like the foggy haze has been scrubbed from my brain. And often it feels like there's bright sunshine pouring in. The foggy haze affected everything, like from my mood to my brain misfiring and lagging. It felt like my brain almost was like stuttering. And now everything is dialed in and smooth. So I also I'm one of those brains that has a lot of piece of paper floating around. So it used to be 100 pieces of paper whipping around my brain at top speeds. Peace brought that down to like 30 pieces of paper at a faster, slower clip. And now there's like 10 pieces. Like my brain is so quiet and I can figure out what's going on around me. It's quite delightful. I also found myself driving down the road, making up a song. I was singing a song. I don't sing songs driving down the road. And I was dancing in the kitchen, things that I was too gray and foggy to do before for a very long time. So I also discovered that I could read my phone now. My glasses aren't at hand because of that haze removal. My typing error rate has improved and my brain mouth connection is smoother. Like normally when I would record a video, I'd have 15 of them to get a 1 minute or 30-second video clip without stumbling over my words, and I'm not stumbling. So to me, this patch has just changed everything about how my brain functions. And I've noticed after like a busy, crazy day, I'm not wired but tired, which is my prior state. Now I'm just like chilled and connected and pretty zen. So I love this patch.
Thank you so much, Dana. That was amazing. So for those who are wondering, Zen is specifically made to create mindful focus and become fully present in each moment. It improves cognitive balance, it improves memory, and just overall brain function and helps you reach that flow state where you're just firing on all cylinders. So that is our incredible Zen patch. Thank you so much, Dana. Next, we have Heather to talk about her experience with our other brand new patch called Assure. And that also just came out last weekend in Las Vegas. So, Heather, let's hear from you.
Hi guys. I apologize. I have my camera on instead because I do not have the greatest lighting where I am. But I want to talk about the Assure. And the Assure is made for like motion sickness, morning sickness, nausea, which that's me. I've been struggling with that since the birth of my daughter in 2009. And then as years went on, I was diagnosed with MS in 2015, and then it just gradually got worse from there. So it's like from the morning I wake up to the time I go to bed, I am constantly nauseous. So I put that patch on, Assure, at the event in Vegas. And when I did, within, I would say 5 minutes, the nauseousness was gone. I didn't have it all weekend. I didn't have it actually until Wednesday night. It started to like come back to me slowly. And I was like, oh, I only wished I had another patch. I love it.
Thank you so much, Heather. That's so incredible. And this is one that we've been waiting to come out a long time because we have so many people who struggle with nausea. Well, 3 out of 4 of my kids have horrible motion sickness. So it would have been great for our trip in Mexico a couple of months ago. And we would have definitely had healthier people on the boats and the planes. So thank you so much, Heather. Next, we're going to hear from Angela Kerrigan. She's going to talk about Boost, which is our not brand new, but our other newest patch. It launched last year, and Boost is our patch for energy. Angela?
Actually, you had me down for victory.
Yes, I did. Never mind. You're going to talk about victory. Thank you.
But I can say these go hand in hand for me for what I'm fixing to share with y'all. So Victory was one of the Freedom and Victory were the first patches I used, and I slapped on a Victory right before playing pickleball. And that day, I literally played 5 hours straight. I never sat down and rested, and everybody in my pickleball group was like, "What the heck? Like, what are you on?" And so I started slapping these patches on them. But what I've noticed lately is in my walks and in my jogs, how the energy level I have after I get going, like it literally, it gives me the stamina I need. And then recently I started working out and lifting weights again. And usually how, when you lift weights, the next day you're really sore. And I'm lifting pretty heavy weights and I'm blown away. Like my flexibility, the recovery has completely been so simple. And just I'll add on Boost, it does give you that extra bit of energy when you are working out. So when they say, and yes, it works hand in hand like Liberty does, giving you that strength and balance, but it truly does up your athletic performance.
Thank you so much, Angela. And yes, I did have you down for victory, but I switched that order up at the last minute. So, yes, victory is incredible. Victory is our athletic performance patch. And we just recently had a study done by the University of Arizona by their athletic department. If you haven't read that or learned the data from it, please reach out to somebody who's in here because it's really cool to see just that little bit of percentages that people were able to run faster, lift better, have better endurance, better muscle recovery, all of those things. So Victory is truly, truly a superior patch. So next we have Boost, which is our energy patch, and Tara will be talking about Boost. Miss Tara.
All right. And just as you said that, my computer said it was a low battery. So I'm going to talk quick and then I'm going to run to wherever I need to go to find my charger. Um, I, I've had an interesting experience with Boost. It wasn't my first patches at all. I got a lot of energy from Liberty alone at the beginning. So when I tried it, I was super curious of how it would help me. And so how I've worked with it is I've kind of experimented. I noticed that when I wear Boost, I choose to wear it on long days. I'm doing my master's right now online, so I spend 8 hours every Saturday online. I always wear it those days. And work days, I often wear it because I get the afternoon lull. And usually I'm drinking coffee. I'm not a big on energy drinks, so I would have a coffee. And if I didn't have that coffee, it guaranteed I would go home and need a nap, like just a really quick one. And when I wear Boost, I don't experience that at all. It's very subtle. For me, it's not like, that jolt you might get from an energy drink, but it's just all of a sudden your energy's there and you feel wide awake and ready to go. Like I just don't even think about feeling tired at all. What else do I have written down here? I keep them in my purse. So if I feel an energy drop, I grab one and I put it on. Especially when you know you can't rest, and it makes such a difference. All of a sudden, it's just like I said before, you just feel the energy again, and you don't even have to think about working through the tiredness. So, and I know we can use these for balance tests, so it does improve that balance too. So that's what I find so fascinating about it. So wherever it is that it works with your brain, I think that's why partly it goes hand in hand with Victory. But yes, it's a patch that I always have on hand. I don't wear it every day, but I wear it when I know I'm going to have a busy day and a long day.
Thank you so much, Tara. Yes, Boost is our energy patch, but the coolest part about it is that we're used to putting chemicals and stimulants in us. Things like caffeine, stimulants, all the things, right, that make you wired or jittery and then crash. So Boost is, because there's no ingredients in it, you just get that constant. And because there's no cruddy chemicals, no dyes and sugars and all of the junk that you can read on a can of Monster or Red Bull, it's something that I've really pushed my kids to use instead, especially my 9-year-old, who I didn't let her drink that stuff anyways. But when my 9-year-old maybe has a night that she doesn't sleep that great, or she's just feeling sluggish, she can put a Boost patch on and I know that she can use it without having any of those cruddy side effects, right? So next up, I am going to talk about peace. And I'm actually going to talk not about my personal experience with peace, but a good friend of mine who wasn't necessarily willing to share her story. So I'm going to tell hers for her because to me, this is the most impactful story that I've personally come encountered with since I've been with this company. So a friend of mine was in an extremely difficult domestic violence situation. Her ex had broken into her home with her and her children inside and become very violent with her in the middle of the night. And because of this and all of the things, with the court proceedings and all the things after that that followed, she was an absolute mess. And I hadn't seen her since it happened. She'd been really reclusive, and I ran into her out and about one day, and she just looked drained, completely a mess. She did not look good at all. And I gave her a big hug and she just said, I can't sleep. I can't barely leave my house. I'm having my daughter sleep in my room with me because I can't even just relax. And she's like, my doctor has me on different prescriptions to try to help me. And I still just can't shake this feeling and I just can't relax enough to feel normal again. And so I had piece on me because that's one that I wear every day religiously. And so I gave her 5 of them and I said, just try these, put one on each morning, take it off, put the next one on, and just let me know how you feel in a few days. I'm going to check in with you. And 24 hours later, she messaged me a voice clip just bawling. And she said, this is the first time that I was able to sleep through the night. This is the first time that I can walk through my house and not be jumpy. And she said, my whole body just feels like I can breathe again and I have this weight lifted off of my chest. And so she has become a diehard customer for me because of how much these changed her life and actually brought her back out into being a mom and a friend and all the things again after what she was going through. So that is one of the most powerful things that I've had experienced with one of our patches, and that is peace, which is for stress specifically. And that one, it just makes me grateful every day that I get to share these with people and that they don't have all the cruddy side effects that go with them. So next, I am going to invite Dion to talk about our Freedom Patch, which is designed for pain.
Hey, everybody. Okay, so when we think of pain, we automatically think of jumping to the Advil, the Aleve. the Tylenol, right? That's usually what we usually do. Well, I had, after surgery of having 2 bones removed in my hand from arthritis, I could not believe the amount of pain that I was in. It was more painful than the arthritis itself. And then when I found out that I was going to be uncomfortable after doing all the exercises and stretching, and this could last anywhere from 6 months to a year, I was freaking out. And because I don't want to have to take all those pills every single day, all the time, like I'd had to in the years previous when my hand was getting so sore. And it was just fluke that I happened to see another gal's post on Facebook, and she was talking about these patches. And I messaged her and I said, okay, what's in these things? And I get a message back and she was laughing and she says, there's nothing in them. And I just was like, what are you talking about? But like, what craziness is this? So anyway, I ended up buying them because I really did not want to turn around and think about all of the Aleve, Advil, Tylenol cocktails that I was going to have to be taking over the next year to deal with the pain. And I kid you not, and this is my honest testimony because I've tried a lot of products out there. I put that on my wrist below where the surgery was, and within 20 minutes, I was no longer registering the pain. So for me, that was, I was just like, this is nuts. Like, what's going on here? Now, every now and then, yeah, it gets a little bit sore, what have you. I can always put another Freedom patch on and the pain disappears. Sometimes it's not 100% all gone, but it's a lot better than dealing with the pain that I would have to deal with. And when I think of all the times and all the people, even in my family, we're always dealing with aches and pains, especially as we get older. And you can just slap on a patch and not have to take those drugs. I mean, that's everything, right? You're looking at your health from a totally different level.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And again, Freedom is one of those ones that has been featured or globally with different studies that we've done. It was featured at Pain Week in Las Vegas. There's all kinds of research and studies with our Freedom patch for helping specifically deal with pain and chronic pain. So I invite you to take a look at those as well. And then now we are going to have Jen talk about Ignite, which is our metabolism boosting patch.
Yes, and I actually have it here. You guys can hear me good? I'm good. I'm in my car. Okay. It says Ignite Super Patch, deal with calories like never before. So when I first joined, I of course got my kit and I wanted to try all the patches out. Did I need to burn any extra calories? I guess great. We'll all be excited about that. So I threw it on and didn't feel anything. Then day 3 hit, and all of a sudden, it was like my brain was telling my body to eat proper portions because I was stuffed, like very full after half of a meal. And we all know that we, as humans, overindulge a lot. I couldn't figure out what it was and why I was so full all the time. So then day 4 hit, I still didn't figure it out. I just was trying a whole bunch of patches and never did it occur to me. And then all of a sudden I went, hold on a second. I'm wearing that Ignite patch. So and then I started talking to other people, and that was a common denominator with Ignite. Now, what's really cool is that it burns 500 calories resting metabolic rate. So as we sleep, we're burning calories. I then didn't use it for a while because it wasn't something that I was needing. But just recently, only 3 weeks ago, I've had some health problems, and doctor's orders is diet and exercise. Well, I got a nice red light now. I've got brake lights. Sorry, guys. Bad lighting. But so diet and exercise came along. And I'm thinking, okay, how the heck am I going to do this? I'm 47. I'm in it right now. I have been trying to diet and exercise, and I'm a very healthy person for 10 years. Absolutely. The struggle's real, working out, eating healthy, cutting the gluten, the sugar, the whole bit. Like I'm a very healthy person, and I'm not that big. So what do? I go to my super patch. So for the last 3 weeks, I have been using the Ignite. And for the first time, oh my gosh, I have seen the scale down to, I haven't seen it before in over 10 years. And like my belt like notches are another notch down. Like it's just absolutely crazy to me because I have been just trying so hard for 10 years. And now it's just now going off over Ignite. So there you go.
Thank you, Jen, and congratulations also. Yeah, so Ignite is incredible because it's, again, non-stimulant, right? So most of us, especially women on this call, have heard all the things, a lot of us were around with like the fin and all the crazy things, right? But a lot of the things that you take for metabolic boosting or to see those numbers drop on the scale, they have stimulants in them. They make your heart race, they make you sweaty, they heat up your core, or they, can cause all kinds of issues like that. The biggest thing that stuck out to me with what Jen said is that she didn't feel anything. It's just doing the work behind the background, right? So it's just increasing your metabolic rate or your resting metabolic rate without you even realizing it. And the food noise is huge. Everybody who I've ever had try it has talked about how it turns off that food noise. So thank you so much, Jen. Next up, we have Mary Beth to talk about our Joy Patch.
Thanks, Natalie. Kind of like you, I am actually sharing somebody else's story. This is actually my husband's experience with the Joy Patch. At this time, we were both really new to the products and the company. And I had come home and he was in a real grouchy mood. And I said, "Oh, honey, I think you should put some patches on." And he was like, "One." And I was like, "Oh boy, one. I can only pick one." And my mind's racing. I'm like, peace or joy, peace or joy. I wasn't sure the difference totally. I wasn't sure which one to use. And I was like, okay, he seems kind of like angry, which seems like the opposite of joy. So I'm going to go with joy. So I put the Joy Patch on him. And at the time, we had been preheating our oven to put a pizza in. And that doesn't take very long to preheat the oven. Um, Before the pizza went in the oven, he is sitting here laughing, cracking up. Tears of joy are literally coming down his eyes. He was like, "What is in this badge? I can't believe it." It was crazy. And he's been wearing these ever since. And I kind of just think like I had been on a training from the founder and he talked about it being like a hug and a patch. And I think that's really kind of what it is. So and I can really tell like if my husband doesn't have the Joy Patch on, it really makes a difference.
Yes, absolutely. I've had to put that on my husband a few times as well. Yes, Joy is amazing. Joy is one where, again, that's not one that I use every day. That's not one that my household uses every day, but we are up here in the rainy, cold, gray Pacific Northwest, and that is one that we wear through the winter time to help with those seasonal blues. In the summer when I'm getting tons of vitamin D, that's not one that I feel my body needs. But right now, it's one that I've added because I haven't seen blue sky or sunshine in a few months now. So Joy is really incredible for those things. It is totally like a hug in a patch. Now we're going to have Jan come on and talk about her experience with Focus.
Hi, Natalie. Thank you so much for having me. So as a child, I was never diagnosed with the funky letters. However, I always felt less than and just always really struggled in school. I've just always had issues with trying to fit in or just struggling with school. So then as an adult, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, which one of the symptoms of that is brain fog. So I just always like to get anything done is the biggest task for me. And it's just really is a struggle. So when I was introduced to Super Patch 18 months ago, I went ahead and I got a Focus patch also with some others for my husband. And when I put the Focus patch on, it was like in that first day, I accomplish so much. I mean, my sense of purpose, I got so much done. And it just really, when you have gone your whole life with feeling less than accomplished, and you can accomplish so much in one day, it changes everything. It literally has changed everything for me. And even my husband says, "Who are you and what have you done with my wife?" Because the fact that I now get up and get so much done in one day is just incredible. So over the last year and a half, it has totally changed my life. So if you struggle with walking into a room and forgetting why you went in there, or forgetting things, or just struggling to finish anything, I highly recommend trying to focus patch.
Thank you so much. And I love that story. And I've heard it so many times, and every time I just smile because I'm just proud that you feel that way about yourself, which is amazing. So next up, we're going to have Leslie talk about her experience with REM, which is our sleep patch.
Hi everyone, Leslie here. I absolutely love the REM patch. So this was one of the first patches I actually tested back in the day when I guess you'd call me a skeptic of these patches. So this patch actually took about 5 to 7 days for it actually to start working for me. But a little backstory, I am that person ever since I had kids, and my oldest child is now 18, almost 19. I do not sleep through the night anymore. I am up 3 or 4 times to use the washroom, or if my dog moves or my husband moves, or literally anything. I think someone's breaking in the house. It doesn't matter. I am up at all times, and sometimes I can go right back to sleep, and sometimes I'm gonna lay there for 3 or 4 hours and not go back to sleep. So, anyone that deals with that, like I used to deal with that, that affects your whole next day. It affects your mood, what you get done, everything. So about 5 to 7 days after I started wearing the REM patch in the evenings, um, my husband came home late one night and I didn't wake up. And that literally has not happened in probably 18 years. That's how light of a sleeper I am. Um, so ever since then, I have not taken the patch off in the evenings. It has changed my life. And the cool part about this is I've actually tracked it on my watch. Anyone that has a smartwatch that can track your sleep, I'm actually getting on average an extra full hour of REM. So that's like your deep REM sleep um, every evening, which if you track it, you know how big a deal 1 extra hour is for deep REM. But it's crazy. I do not get up during the night anymore, maybe once, but not 4 or 5 times at all anymore. So it's a huge, massive difference for my sleep and then for my mental state the next day. So it's my favorite.
Thank you, Leslie. And yes, REM is another one that is featured globally. It was presented at the European Sleep Research Society in Europe, obviously, and we have several peer-reviewed papers on it. So REM is so cool because it was actually the only thing featured at that didn't have any ingredients in it or chemicals in it. So again, being that this patch doesn't have anything on it, you're not absorbing melatonin, you're not there's no habit forming. You're not waking up groggy. You just put it on before you want to go to bed, and it just shuts your brain down so that you don't have all those thoughts of the did I move the laundry over and the this and the that, and it helps you actually get into that deep REM state like Leslie talked about. So you put it on before you go to bed, take it off when you wake up, and you don't have any of those groggy, nasty side effects. So thank you again, Leslie. Now we have Candace talking about Lumi, which is our incredible skin health patch.
Hello, you guys. Thanks for having me on here. I think this is one of the ones that I had the least expectations for, and I think it's honestly become one of my favorites. So this patch is one that I'm 54. Today is my birthday. I'm 54 years old. 2 years ago, I kind of went cold turkey on any type of injections for my skin, anything invasive in my skin, and I was starting to really notice the signs of aging. I was noticing it. I was in the throes of changes with my body, and everything was just dry. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So last summer, our CEO, Jay, thank you guys, thank you. He had kind of told all of us, he says, this will be the best skin you ever have. Put this to the test. So I thought, okay, I'm going to put it to the test. I have always been somebody that loves makeup. I love skincare. I love trying all the products, but I'm also somebody that has extremely sensitive skin. I'm allergic to sulfur. I can't use certain shampoos or different, cosmetics. I have to be really careful and use clean ingredients. So I thought, I'm going to really put this to the test. He said to try it for 30 days. So we did a little group thing where we all went to the same window at the same time of day and we wore this patch. And within 30 days, I could notice a slight difference in my skin. I think what I noticed the most was the dry skin. I am the girl that is continually in bare feet. I live on the West Coast. We have very mild winters here. I'm in flip-flops 12 months of the year, but my feet pay the ultimate price for that. And I noticed that was the first place I noticed it. My husband, he likes to rub my feet sometimes at night when we're watching TV. He's like, babe, your feet are soft. I'm like, I know. 60 days went by and I thought, okay, I'm really starting to notice a difference with this. 90 days. So it's now been since June. I don't even know how many months. We're getting to a year. My skin has never been better. It is glowy. I can see cell turnover. I can feel it. I have less of the crow's feet happening. It's just more supple, I think, my skin. And I'm so happy. I have no allergies to this. I just put it on every day, stick on my sticker, and away I go. I don't even think about it. The other person in my household that has benefited from this and really fought it every step of the way is my 16-year-old son. He's super active in sports and tends to get, the odd little breakout. Sometimes he gets breakouts on his back. He's an active basketball, soccer, whatever. I pair this, and I know we haven't talked about it yet, but if you pair this with Defend, within 2 days, his breakouts are cleared up. His skin is just glowing. So this is one, if you have dry skin or you have blemish prone skin or you have sensitive skin, you need the Lumi patch.
Oh my gosh, that was probably the best testimonial we've had all night. Thank you so much, Candace. They're all amazing, but I love that one. And happy birthday. So next we have Amy, who's going to talk about our Kick It patch, which helps you kick bad habits of all kinds.
Hey everyone. So I'm going to talk about this little one right here. And to be honest, this is the patch that I really thought that I would have the least use for. I don't smoke. I'm not addicted to sugar. So I kind of didn't think anything of it. But there was a problem that I was having. I was grinding my teeth a lot at night, so much that I've chipped my 3 front bottom teeth. So I did go to my dentist and I did get a mouth guard, and that was great. So my teeth were protected, but I was still waking up in the morning with really, I was clenching and grinding still a lot on top of that mouth guard. So it was really sore. If it was really bad for a bunch of nights in a row, I'd wake up with a headache. It was really tight. It was very, very unpleasant. And so I had seen somebody else mention something about using Kick It for teeth grinding. And I was like, oh my goodness, I never even thought. So I started using that. I just put it on at night. And I put it just before I go to bed. I do put it with my REM patch, but this one in particular is the one that helps me not grind as much. So I'm sure I'm still grinding a little bit, but it's very soft. I do not wake up with tightness or headaches or feeling unrested. And I'm not wearing down my mouth guard as much. I usually have to get a new mouth guard every year because that's how much I do grind. And the grooves aren't as deep. So the Kick It patch was like a really simple addition for me to add at night, but it is so effective. And I'm so happy because waking up, having that tightness, especially back in here, and then having it go up into your head, like it is very unpleasant and it can last throughout most of the day. So that is gone for me now. And I am in love with these Kick It patches.
Thank you so much. I love that. Every time I get a new Kick It testimonial, I just love it because it's always for different things. So essentially what that patch does is tell your brain to turn off the I need that compulsion. So whatever it is that you're struggling with, we have people with, like you said, smoking, sugar, all different kinds of things. Whatever it is, you wind up not needing that, and you don't wind up on that brain loop of craving or that habit, whatever it is. So thank you so much. Now I'm going to make my daughter start using that because she's starting to grind her teeth now that she's getting her bigger molars in. So I just jotted that down as a reminder. So thank you very much. Now we have Mir, who is going to talk about Defend, which is our immune boosting patch.
Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh, I need Kick It. I didn't even realize that was great for grinding. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Defend, which is fantastic for like overall immunity. I love using this patch with Liberty, and I know Dana's going to talk about Liberty. So one of my great testimonies, when I first started with Super Patch, I wore Defend with Liberty, and I was going through some hormonal issues. And wearing it for 4 months straight, I wore it because I knew it was good for me because everybody else said that. Like I knew I needed to wear it. But when I stopped wearing it is when I realized how much it was helping me. So I don't know, I'm 51. I get like backaches, but they're not backaches because like I hurt myself. It was like hormonal aching. It totally went away. And then when I stopped wearing it, because it was like a heat wave here, I couldn't even get up in the morning. So I was like, damn, these things are actually like helping that. And I didn't even realize it actually went away. So that was like, I love Defend. If you haven't seen the live blood test with Defend, it is amazing. So we all need to have healthy red blood cells. So overall oxygen in the body, this is a must-have every day. We just came back from Vegas. I had a scratchy throat, like literally like razor blades. I put this on and in the morning it was gone. And I had, if anybody saw my fall, I had a fall and I braced it with my wrist. I had a bruise here. It was crazy. So I was with my roommate, Keisha. We're in the bathroom. I'm like, let me see if Defend will actually help my bruise. So it was like green and purple, like, it shows up the day after. And so I put a Defend patch here. Like literally the next day it faded. The day after that, it was completely gone. And usually a bruise will stay around for a week. So I was like, so if you have bruising, this is a great help. So overall, I think everybody should be wearing this for overall immunity, for your red blood cells, for oxygen. If you snore, another great one to slap on. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Defend is one of those ones that's just everybody just should just be wearing it all the time. We have testimonials from people who suffer with seasonal allergies, it helping with tight airways, like asthma type symptoms, all different things from normal everyday wearing, like you talked about, to those bigger issues that people struggle with. So thank you so much. Defend is absolutely amazing. Now we're going to have Dana back to talk about Liberty.
Okay, so the Liberty patch changed my life. It's mind-boggling. So it's not the pain patch, but it is my pain patch. I have a destroyed left knee that hurt all the time. Stairs are a one-legged affair, which was extra fun because I also had a torn right hip because I was so unbalanced. And so I had to do all my walking on my torn hip. My hip wouldn't allow me to sit for more than an hour without screaming at me. So I was lying down multiple times a day. Try running your life that way. I walk like a weeble wobble. I actually have walked like that for decades because my body is made out of overcooked spaghetti instead of al dente like most people. So that hurt my back, neck, hips all the time. Everything hurt. I was tender 24/7 pretty much. So I put my first patch on and I arrived home and I walked up the stairs with two legs. And I got to the top of the stairs and I was like, what just happened? I was so shocked that I went and pulled my door camera footage because that wasn't something that happens. And then I realized I wasn't weeble wobbling as I was walking up to the door. And I was like, this is magic. What is going on here? My improvements just kept coming. My inflammation dropped, my gut health improved. I can now go for walks. Going for walks was not a thing that ever would have happened before. I can sit for hours if I want, and I'm in no hurry to see a surgeon. So who cares about those things? No worries. I even had a small bunion and a large callus disappear from my foot because of the way that my body realigned. So I'm strong and balanced like we heard before. So I just have to say, like, I noticed things immediately. I've had somebody else that I patched that she noticed with her pain and stiffness dropping within minutes. So my uncle, it took him like 6 weeks, right? So you're gonna see changes. You're gonna have the balance test right away. But if you don't have the changes you want to see with Liberty in your first couple of weeks, keep going, because at 6 weeks he was like, oh my gosh, my whole body and life has changed. So give it time and everybody will change with Liberty. Everybody needs that one.
Thank you so much. I completely agree. We've been told by the developer of these patches that Liberty enhances all of the rest of the patches too. So if you're wearing Liberty every day, not only is it going to align your body, it's kind of like I tell everybody that that one is the one that makes your body fire on all cylinders, right? So it just gets your body tuned up and doing the things that it should be doing. It's also the one, if you guys have seen us post these amazing videos and people are commenting about videos, Liberty is the one typically that we use to demo our product. So we do a quick balance test using the Liberty patch that shows your strength and balance before the patch, and then 10, 15 seconds of having the patch on and how quickly it works within your body to increase your strength and balance. So if you haven't done a balance test, I encourage you to reach out to somebody to do it. We can even instruct you on how to do it over FaceTime or Zoom, however it may be. So get your balance test. If you're on our team already and you don't have your balance test, get it done because it's truly just so powerful to watch, as you can see by these comments. So next we're going to have Mark talk about, he also had an incredible testimonial from Zen, which is our new patch that we talked about first tonight. So Mark is going to talk about his experience with Zen.
Thank you. So there are two different aspects of my life that Zen has really impacted. One is I like to ride dirt bikes in the woods. And for those that are unfamiliar with it, it's a pretty significant sport. My heart rate's anywhere from 130 to 180 for however many hours I'm out. I'm often several mountain ranges away from my truck, threading through trees that my bike can barely fit through at a pretty high rate of speed. So safe to say that every decision matters. You have to be very present because there's potential for high consequence. Now, I've been using Super Patch products for about a year. I really love Focus. I love Victory, things like that. Zen is legit next level. The amount of information my brain can process is significant, and it makes my life so much easier. I'm less stressed, I'm less pressured because my brain is just working the way that it's supposed to. And when you're out in those type of environments, so much of the processing is happening at the subconscious level that if your brain's just having a bad day, you're having a bad day. And I've found that these Zen patches make a significant difference, like more than I had expected them to make. The other aspect that they really help with is I'm a director in Canada's largest construction company. I very often have to visualize how to build very complicated construction projects that are in the billions of dollars. So I process a lot of information. The amount of brain space that these patches free up for me is significant. My job is easier because my brain is just working better. I don't have to struggle as much to focus. I don't have to struggle as much to, when your brain wants to go on a tangent or it decides it doesn't want to do something, there's less conflict with it. When I'm up in front of, several hundred people doing training or anything like that, I have the confidence that my brain is there with me, which has historically been a little bit of a problem. So while I kind of knew what to expect from Super Patch because I've been using the products, Zen is definitely next level, and I was very surprised at the significance of the effects that I found from it.
Thank you so much. And I love hearing Emil's perspective on how it can help with any of these patches. I love it. So thank you so much, Mark. I am going to next share my personal testimonial with our patch called Rocket. So Rocket, it was originally designed and marketed towards men to boost libido, to increase stamina, in the bedroom, things like that. So finding men, while we have heard tons of stories on how this has helped, finding a man who wants to talk about that on a call, that's kind of a sensitive topic. And so I wanted to share my experience with Rocket because I started using it this past summer just to test what it could help me with, and it was pretty profound. So I am only 40, but I had a hysterectomy 8 years ago. And when I had my hysterectomy, it kind of threw me into menopause. My hormones were all over the place. Shortly after that, I started doing hormone replacement therapy. I was taking progesterone. I was getting testosterone pellets. Put in every few months. And it took a long time to balance this out. And eventually I kind of weaned myself off all of that because I just didn't like taking all of those things and having to go in for the procedures and do all of those things. So I stopped taking it and I was doing fine for a couple of years. And the one thing that I just couldn't ever really change was I just had this stubborn weight, especially just around my, midsection, as middle-aged women tend to do. And it didn't matter how much I worked out. It didn't matter how much I ate healthy. It didn't matter what I did. I tried all the things and I just couldn't really shake my weight. Well, that was fine. I just accepted that that's how it was. However, last February, I had a really traumatic experience, and I wound up having to have emergency surgery to take my ovary out, which they had left. And that threw my hormones back into this weird kind of spiral. So I was having all of these feelings of not being able to sleep. I was having horrible hot flashes. I had insomnia. Then when I did sleep, I'd wake up 2, 3 times a night to go to the bathroom. I was irritable, cranky, all the things. I just wasn't me, and I was pretty sick of it. So I had come to face the fact that I needed to go back on my hormone replacement therapy. Um, but I really didn't want to do the testosterone pellets because the procedure was tough, and all the things. So I thought, if Rocket can kind of boost those things in a man, why wouldn't I try that for myself, right? Why wouldn't I see if it could help balance me out a little bit? So I started using Rocket, and it was one of those things where I think I was just so busy and doing things that I didn't really notice it. But it was one of those things where my husband looked at me and was like, what did you change? What did you do differently? And I had to kind of pause and think about it because I was not irritable anymore. I was sleeping better. My hot flashes had stopped. And 2 weeks after that, of me continuing to wear it, I checked, I looked at my weight, I checked the scale, and I had lost 12 pounds. And I hadn't been able to do that since my hysterectomy. So Rocket is one for me that has changed my life, even though that wasn't its intended purpose. It does help. We have tons of testimonials of how it's helping women too, and even our co-founder, our owner is talking about doing some studies on using Rocket on women so that we have that available as well. So Rocket just 180'd my life, and now I'm not on artificial or synthetic hormones or anything like that. I'm just using the patches, multiple of them, but Rocket is one where as soon as I added it in, I felt like me again. And so I just wanted to share that with all of you. It's a different, yep, exactly. Someone just commented that it helped their hot flashes. So it's one of those ones where it's just kind of sneaky on how it helps you. So that is all 15 of our incredible patches. I hope that you took something away from this that you didn't know before, or if you were a guest on this call, I hope that this piqued your interest because with 15 different patches that help dozens and dozens and dozens of the most common ailments and issues and symptoms all over the world, there's something that you heard tonight that I'm sure that you're dealing with. And the whole thing about super patch is that you don't have to deal with that anymore, and you don't have to run to your doctor to get another refill and deal with side effects and all of the things. So I truly invite you to reach out to whoever invited you to this call, get some more information. We have incredible programs for both our customers and our associates, and we just want to get you patched and going and feeling better. So thank you, everyone, and thank you to all of our guests who talked tonight. This was such an incredible call. I love hearing all the testimonial sides of everything. It's been such a fun night. So thank you, everybody.